All right, welcome everyone. All right, you are welcome. Okay, I welcome you all to tonight's webinar. I'm your anchor, I'm your host, Chinedu Franklin. In this webinar, we are going to be looking at how you can craft out a professional cover letter that will help you to stand out among the rest. That is what we are going to be doing tonight. We are going to take you through on how you can craft out your professional cover letter. My name is Franklin. I represent Soluma Consulting Institute. And in Soluma Consulting, we train, we mentor, and we consult. We can also help you to consult. We can help you to handle your recruitment processes, your selection processes, and ensure you get that right person for that position in your organization. The people is the backbone of every organization, and that is one of the things we do. But tonight, my focus is to help as many as possible to be able to master the art of writing a good and a winning cover letter. That is one thing I'm committed to do this night. This is going to be a series. And this is the beginning of this series, how to write a professional cover letter. Top 10 rules for writing a winning cover letter. If you are just joining us, you are welcome, and I appreciate you for being here this night. Let me know where you are joining us from. Drop in the chat box your name and where you are joining us from. If you are just joining me tonight, I say a big welcome to you. Go ahead and let me know where you are joining me from. And for those of us in the mentorship group, if you are in the mentorship group, go ahead, drop in the group and let everyone there know that we are live. Let everyone know that we are live. We are live in this night's webinar. And if you are just joining me and you are yet a subscriber to this channel, you are not yet a subscriber, I will ask that you do so as to be able to interact with me live, and then to be able to get updates once we drop live webinars like this, once we schedule live training, or we drop quality videos, powerful content as regards to things you are about to learn this night. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button and sit tight and get ready for the ride. Okay. Welcome to Professional Cover Letter Writing Course 1. In our previous training we started this week, we have covered a series. We had a 4 series on how to write a professional CV. Among them is a hands-on course, it's a hands-on training. And in one of the trainings, I took us through step by step how we can write a winning CV that will stand out among the rest, that will give you that winning edge, that will earn you that interview call. However, if you are not part of that section, I will encourage you go to the channel. Is there on the channel. Look at the playlist or search for professional CV writing. In the channel, you will definitely get access to the training. You are welcome for the section this night. I will encourage you that you share the link to this webinar. Let more persons let more persons be, invite more persons down to this place, and then encourage them. If you know those who will be needing this course, what we are learning this night, those that we want what we are learning this night, share the link and invite them to this section. Much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. Go ahead and do that. All right. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if I'm audible enough. If you can hear me, please drop it in the chat box. Drop it in the chat box. Let me know that you can hear me. Go ahead. Drop it in the chat box if you can hear me. If you can hear me, drop it in the chat box. Let me know if I'm audible enough. Welcome to tonight's webinar on professional cover letter. Let me know if you can hear me. All right, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. If you can hear me, if you can see my screen, go ahead. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Much appreciated. Let me know, let me know. If you can hear me, if you can see my screen, so that we can commence this night. What we are going to focus on is the top 10 rules for writing a winning cover letter. Top 10 rules. That's what we are going to look at this night. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. All right. I think some persons, okay. Good evening, sir. I can hear you. I can see your screen. Good evening, sir. Okay, good evening, sir. I can hear you. And I can see your screen as well. Thank you. Okay. All right. Tonight we are going to be starting a series on this course. And some of you already know me, some you might not know me. I'm Mr. Franklin. I'm your anchor and host. And I'm a seasoned professional in recruitment in human resources management. This is one area that I have had series of experience over the years. And I want to promise you and believe me, what I'm bringing is a blend of expertise and experience. And the rules we are going to learn this night, I'm going to try as much as possible to make them simple. I'm going to try as much as possible to simplify them. And after that, tomorrow we will be going into the part 2 of this series. We'll be going to the part 2 of this series. Then next is, what is a good cover letter? A good cover letter is just something, or a winning cover letter, a professional cover letter, a persuasive cover letter is just what this picture depicts. It's just what the picture before you depicts. When you say a good cover letter, a winning cover letter, a cover letter that is professional, persuasive, and powerful, is just a picture before you. That cover letter that stands out among the rest. That cover letter that make you stand out among the rest. Note this, that in every recruitment process, you are not the only person looking for that position. There are a lot of persons vying for that position, and what will make you to stand out is how professional, how powerful, and how persuasive your cover letter and your CV presents. In other words, your CV and your cover letter is your first point of call to pass interview. When your cover letter and your CV is being screened, in other words, they answer interview questions, they answer interview questions in written formats. In other words, there is an expectation in the mind of the recruiter, and the recruiter looks at your CV, looks at your cover letter, and your cover letter answer those questions, answer those expectations, and meet those expectations. That is what we mean by a winning cover letter. That is what we mean by a powerful cover letter. That is what we mean by a professional cover letter. That cover letter that stood out among the rest. So why is this picture before us? Is to give us a pictorial understanding of what your cover letter should achieve. Your cover letter should definitely achieve what you are seeing here. Should be the most shining light amongst all. In other words, among the 100 cover letters being reviewed by the HR, 1,000 cover letter being reviewed by the HR, and the likes, your letter should stand out. Your letter should stand out. And if you are just joining me, please let me know where you are joining me from. Drop your name, your location. Let me know where you are joining me from tonight. And tonight I'm going to take us through top 10 rules. Top 10 rules of crafting a powerful cover letter. I bet you there are certain of these rules you might have not heard. I guarantee you, I bet you. There are certain of these rules, there are certain rules in these 10 that you have not heard, or you might have heard it but you don't apply it. 10 of these rules is what I tagged my 10 commandments for crafting a winning cover letter. My 10 commandments. I'm not saying if you fail them, anything will happen to you, but of course, if you don't abide by them, your chances of getting that job interview call is slim. So tonight we are going to go through those 10 commandments and use the title of the job as your email title and stuff like that, without putting in a persuasive, a compelling letter, a compelling write-up that stands in as your cover letter. You just send it out like that to the recruiter's email. No, unless the recruiter demands that you send your CV only, don't attach anything to on that aspect, then attach your cover letter. Okay, let's delve into it. Let's delve into it. Let's delve into it since I'm having a bit of network challenge here. Okay. All right. The top 10 rules. Top 10 rules. Here are my top 10 commandments. Number 1. Dress your letters for success. That is number 1. Most of us make mistakes to think that we can write letters anyhow. You need to dress your letters for success. You know, when we mean dress your letters for success, how many of us will go for interview dressed shabbily? We have, and most times I have taught people some job interview ethics, which we are going to be looking at next week in this in this in these trainings, these 2 weeks intensive training on CV and job interviews. Now, you don't go for job interview dressing shabbily. At the same time, remember your cover letter will first of all go for interview. I have already established that fact. Your cover letter, your CV is the first to pass interview. So you don't dress your letter shabbily, dress your letter for success. And in dressing your letter for success, that has to do with your formatting. How you format your letters, how you put it in plain language. Dress it, make it professional. Don't put slangs. Don't put slangs like you might want to say you have helped the organization, you have generated income, so this, and you might want to call a figure, you say 10K, 100K. Don't use those informal words. Dress your letter for success. Dress your letter for success. Now, your letter should not be in a form format. What I mean by a form format, you just your letter has to be in a form format. No. By tomorrow, when I begin to walk us through cover letter practically, you will begin to see different aspects in cover letter, which most of us, I believe 90% of you listening to me this night, this is what you follow. Majority of us have not been taught how we can format our letters for success. You format your letter, key points, you make it profound, and draw the attention of the reader, the attention of the recruiter to those key points. How you capture the eyes, how you capture the attention of the recruiter via how you dress your letter is very important. So you dress for success, like it says. Like there is a saying that says, "How you dress is how you will be addressed." Somehow there is a level of truth in that. However, the same stuff applies to our job search document. Please don't handle your job search document haphazardly. Please, very, very important. Very, very important. And in your letters, please look out for typos. Look out for typo errors. Please, very, very important is you don't send out a letter, and when someone is reading it, the person will be angry. What is this person's writing? Where is there so many grammatical errors on this letter? Why is it letter just shabbily written like this? Let me tell you, it's an insult to us. I have gotten angry a lot of times reviewing cover letters. I will be like, man, is this person a graduate? Does this person finish university? How can this person is it that he doesn't have regard for this institution? Is it that he doesn't have regard for our organization, that he can just write anything? Let me just write. That's a message we are sending when we send out a letter that is poorly written, poorly formatted. Please, the number one rule is to dress your letter for success. Unless you don't like the job, unless you are being forced to apply and you are looking for a means of not being called for the position, and you just let it be that you fulfill all righteousness from the person that said you send your CV, send your letter to so place, then you can write it anyhow. You can write it shabbily and ensure that you are not getting the call. So that is number one. Number two, this is very important. Zoom, don't resume. Zoom, don't resume. What this means is some persons, a lot of persons A lot of persons will go to their cover letter, and repeat the same thing, and repeat almost the same thing that is on their CV or resume. They will almost repeat the same thing that is in their resume. In other words, I have 10 years in the resume, I have work experience. You come there and still put the same thing. I have worked with this social organization. Nothing new, nothing elaborate, nothing expansive. You just carry your resume and put in your cover letter. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't resume. Zoom in. In other words, expatiate on your CV. Bring more light to your CV. The skills you have, you can explain how you have applied those key skills on your CV. You can elaborate the things you have done. You expatiate, you zoom in, you throw more light on what your CV is saying. Your CV is highlighting points. You highlight your skills. In your cover letter, you expatiate on those skills. You highlight your achievement. On your cover letter, you expatiate on 1-2 core achievements you had in your CV. Don't just say these things on your CV. Make sure you expatiate, you elaborate, you bring life to it, you throw more light to your skills, to your personality, to your experiences and achievements. This is very, very important when crafting a cover letter that is highly professional. Very, 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 very important. I want to sincerely plead with us. Don't go about making these mistakes. Don't go about making these mistakes. In fact, one of these things I'm talking about, you dress for success and don't resume, these are first impressions. You know that you don't have the second chance to make the first impression. So you need to make a bold statement. You need to make a bold impression. When someone lifts up your cover letter, or when someone come across your cover letter, the person will say, wow, this is well crafted. From the way the letter is being formatted, from the way the letter is being dressed, from the way the letter is being structured, this is well crafted. That is a first impression. You have made that first positive impression on the recruiter, and the impression they say is very, very significant. In fact, I was part of a recruitment process, and in that process, we come across letters, and somehow we said there are letters we keep aside, and we want to know. During the interview process, we keep them aside. We want to know the persons that owns that letter. I remember on one occasion, I asked the person, are you the one that wrote your cover letter? The person said yes. I said, can you summarize what is in your cover letter? And the person did exactly that. I said, well, wow, I want to commend you. This, keep it up. You put in energy, you put in professionalism in writing this cover letter. Keep it up. That explains to me that he is the one that wrote it, because he was able to summarize what was written in that cover letter. But what caught our attentions on those cover letter was the way it was being written. It was being formatted, well crafted. The impressions that sent was highly superb. So this is very, very important. The eyes will catch the attention first before the person goes to read. Attention is key. Attention is key. So you dress your letter to catch the attention. You don't resume, you don't repeat what was in the CV. You zoom in to throw more light. Impression, attention is currency. Attention is key. Very, very, very important. Very, very, very important. Use formattings that caught attention. In fact, tomorrow is something that most of us, all of us here, will not encourage you to miss. You will be seeing cover letter. I will be bringing cover letter as samples that I will use to be able to be highlighting certain things that I'm explaining this night. I want to make this a kind of, so that tomorrow when I say it, you will be remembering these things that I have said. Keep time tomorrow, the same time, 9:30 p.m. 9:30 p.m. we will be live once again. All right, that is number 2 rule. Zoom, don't resume. I think that is well explained. Then the third one is very, very powerful. This is use disruptive opening. Don't use standard opening. I bet you most of us here is fond of using standard opening. When you hear tailor your cover letter to suit a job, tailor your cover letter for a position, tailor your cover letter for an industry, this is what we are referring to. Use a disruptive opening. Don't use standard opening. I'm applying in response to the advert I saw on the internet or on the website, or in response to the advert I saw on the national dailies, or in response on the advert I got from a friend. I wish to apply for the position of this in your organization. That's a standard opening. Most of us can relate to this. Most of us can relate to this. DIASA application for this or so this, in response to your ad, in response to the ad or this, I wish to apply for the job I saw so this. Those are standard openings, but that is not what you need to do in this 21st century job search, in this 21st century job market. Use disruptive opening, that opening that focuses on the recruiter, that opening that focuses on the job, that opening that focuses on the employer's need and the employer's understanding, your understanding of the industry. This is what we mean when we say tailor your cover letter for any application. Tailor your cover